This is Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 20. Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. All praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Harakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Shalom, to all the hopeful elect brothers that's doing the work of the Lord, faithfully and in sincerity and in truth. Now, Lord will, there's going to be an edifying lesson based on the recent feud between the state of Israel and Iran. Now, this scripture I just read is a prophecy, and is happening right now. It's coming to pass. Before I get to the articles and all that, let me get Habakkuk. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come to pass. Salakia, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So the vision is talking about the prophecies, because when you go into the word prophecy, it means to say before, to say an event before it actually happens. You know, that's what prophecy, that's what to prophesy is going into. You know, to tell you something of the future before it actually happens. And vision, you know, is to see something, which is a prophecy, because the prophets will usually see a vision. They'll usually see a prophecy happen through a vision, or, you know, in a dream, which is also a vision. You know, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. So the prophecies are set for a set time to happen, for a set time to pop off, for a set time to come to pass. But at the end it shall speak and not lie. So right now we're in the end times. You know, we're in the last days, and a lot of the major prophecies concerning the end of the world, it's happening right now, because we're at the end of the world. You know, at the end of the world, the so-called white man, which is Esau, would be ruling, and then right after the so-called white man is taken down out of power, Jacob would rule. But Jacob represents the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know, starting with the elect of them, and the head of that is Yahweh Shai. And not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So throughout the years and millennia and decades and all that, you know, people thought that the end would come during a certain time period, then after that during a certain time period, or 2012 or whatever, or the year 2000, you know, Y2K. But right now it's evident that a lot of end time prophecies are coming to pass. That means Babylon is soon to be destroyed, and Yahweh Shai is soon to be on his way, on his second coming, to deliver the elect of Israel from destruction and to set up his kingdom on earth, which is the kingdom of heaven. Right? So okay, so now my app isn't working. It's crazy. Hold on. Because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And tarry is going into, you know, having a delay or a wait for something. So though it seemed like, you know, throughout the years, you know, the prophecies was taking a while to happen or pop off, well, it's here. You know, it has surely come. It will not tarry. So the prophecies are not taking its time anymore, because the Lord had to allow certain things to happen, because the Lord deals with a perfect balance, and he deals with perfect order. So certain things had to happen to lead up to the prophecies to unfold. You know, for example, you know, 70 AD had to happen. The siege of Jerusalem had to happen. There had to be a falling away first. You know, then the man of sin be revealed. There had to be a falling away. You know, we had to be kicked out of the land. And then we had to go through a period of time where we didn't know that we were Israelites. The transatlantic slave trade had to happen. And then after that, the truth had to be brought to us again, you know, through a man of the Lord, by the name of Abba Bivens. And that's when the truth, you know, really started to spread around 1969 to 1970. And then he had men under him, which they had men under them, you know, up on down to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And they have men under them. And then, you know, it's a chain of command. It's an order from the apostles and elders, you know, and brothers on down to bishops and elders, and you know, brothers, you know, in order from that. So prophecies, you know, the major prophecies are coming to pass right now. So the Lord is on his way. And this is one of them. The least of the flock shall draw them out. Lord will, you know, this lesson won't be too long. Let's go into the word least. And it's speaking about Edom. So who is the least of the flock of Edom? So least going into insignificant, young, ignoble, in value, young, least, little one, small. So it's not going into actual amount. You know, it's not going into actual amount as in least, like 5 is less than 10. No, it's going into stature, you know, or status. You know, you would say like approval, like the small hats or the Ish people. None of these nations on earth, you know, like them. You know, they see them as something insignificant, because they're the top devils of devils. Because the tribe of Amalek, are the small hats, which are the head tribe of the nation of Edom, the head tribe of Esau, the head tribe of the so-called white man, and no one likes them. None of these nations like them. And they are the top enemy of the Most High and of Yahweh Shai and of his people, the Israelites, which are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So let's go into it. It says, Israel attacks Iran nuclear weapon program site, killing top nuclear scientists. The least of the flock shall draw them out. The small hats, the Ish people, the tribe of Amalek are the least of the flock, because they're the ones that's gonna draw out America to the Third World War, to WW3. You know, these nations have their nuclear weapons and all that, but really, they don't actually want a world nuclear war. They don't want that, but the Most High is going to allow it to happen anyways, because the Most High is going to put the spirit in them to do it, you know, for them to have a Third World War. These are the Iranian generals and scientists killed by Israel. So Israel struck Iran first. Major General Mohammed Bagheri, the chief of Chief of Staff of Iran's armed forces and 5 other senior commanders were among the dead. A nuclear negotiator was also killed. So this is them. So had been killed since the strike started on Friday. So you have nuclear scientists and top military leaders killed by the strike from Israel to Iran, right? U.S. military helped stop Iranian missiles heading to Israel, officials say. So the least of the flock, which mean insignificant, because these small hats, for a period of years, when you go into the history, they were kicked out of, a lot of countries. I believe it says like over 100 countries, because they would go in there with their wickedness, because they're loan sharks. They would go in there and, mess up the people's economy. They would mess up the people's money. They would go in there and do their wickedness, and then they would get expelled from those countries. And today, no one likes the small hats. No one likes the ish people. And the average so-called white man that's not a small hat, they separate themselves from small hats, even though they know that the small hats, they're the top of the nation. They're the top of the so-called white man, because they're the leaders. They deal with the money. They're the leadership. Beginning with their release, of course. But U.S. military helped stop Iranian missiles heading to Israel, officials say. And this was all live. The whole world was excited. Especially the people that are against the small hats and their genocide towards the Palestinian people. Now, Israel is drawing out the U.S. to war in the Middle East, the Valley of Jehoshaphat, right? Jehoshaphat in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shaphat, the Most High's judgment, or the Most High's decision. And the Most High's judgment or decision, his purpose is to gather all the nations in the Middle East for the last world war to happen. And Yahweh Shai is going to come down and defeat all the armies of the world. They're going to have a battle in the skies, in heaven. That's Satan's angels against the Lord and his angels, which is going to be Esau and his armies with their fighter jets and all that, and their military grade planes, like jets that the world has not seen before, because they have technology that the world just had not seen before, and the Lord is just gonna turn all that into smoke anyways, by his chariots, by lasers from the chariots. Now, the least of the flock. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he will make their habitations desolate with them. So, not only is Babylon the Great, aka America, is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles, but the land of Israel is going to be completely destroyed by missiles as well. But the land of Israel is going to be built up after the destruction. But America is going to be left as a monument. It's going to be left as a giant desert, and no one's going to inhabit here anymore. So this is Scorpion. He's from the Mortal Kombat games, and one of his special moves. Mortal Kombat was a game from the early 90s. Brother that's from the brothers that was born in the 90s, 80s, 70s. You know what I'm talking about. And one of his special moves is that he would fling this rope spear, if you want to call it that, to his enemies, and then he would yank it, and then he would say, "Get over here." You know, that would be like one of his finishing moves. And you know, it's kind of like you know, an analogy of how, you know, Israel is gonna drag the U.S. into a third world war in the Middle East. You know, that's what I thought about when I actually saw the news of, you know, Iran, you know, retaliating against Israel with the drone strikes that they hit the land of Israel with. Now, this is all because of the newfound enriched uranium that Iran found, right? Which are going to be used to fuel the building of their nuclear missiles. Because don't forget that Russia is backing them too. Russia and China. Well, Russia is backing Iran and China. And China, you know, China is a superpower as well, but not like Russia is. So it's about to go down. The newfound uranium Iran has is a part of, you know, I bet weaponized. Iran has its part, I bet, weaponized enriched uranium. So let's go to Isaiah 9. Isaiah 9 and verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is fought with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. That's what it is, burning and fuel of fire. It says Israelis' missiles arsenal. This is the range. This is the different type of missiles on their range. This is Iran's missile arsenal. Israelis' missiles arsenal. Iran's missile arsenal. And I took this screenshot from YouTube. Iran has developed a range of ballistic and cruise missiles over the past 3 decades. These are some of Iran's most prominent missiles and their ranges. So that's it right there. So their estimated range is 25 kilometers. So this is it right here too. I'm sorry, 25,000 kilometers, which is it right here. You know, they explain how missiles work, but Iran will develop more missiles anyways, because prophecies have to come to pass. This is Isaiah 55 and 11. Because Israel is trying to stop Iran from developing more nuclear missiles, especially because of the enriched uranium that they recently got. But here's what the Lord says, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Isaiah 55 and 11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So the Most High has his prophecies already written out, and now it's coming to pass. And yeah, these Edomites, you know, these Amalekites, and these Edomites over here in the U.S., they're trying to stop the prophecies of coming to pass of the Persians, because Iran, they're the Persians. You know, they trying to stop them from from updating, their nuclear arsenal, from updating their nuclear arsenal, which is prophecies. It's prophecy that they're gonna be in the Third World War anyways. So WW3 is right around the corner. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth, it shall not return unto me void, meaning empty. So the prophecies that the word of the Lord let out through his prophets, for thousands of years, certain prophecies has been written, in the Bible, in the scriptures, and it wasn't time for them to happen. But now the prophecies are coming to pass. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. At the end it shall speak and not lie. So now it's speaking, now it's happening, now it's taking course, now it's about to pop off. But it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So the Most High says that Israel is going to draw out the U.S. Israel is going to draw out Babylon into the Middle East, into a Third World War, by going at it with Iran. And that's what's happening right now. Even though by them trying to stop prophecy, because they're trying to stop Iran from updating and developing their nuclear arsenal, that's them fulfilling prophecy anyways, because it shall not return unto me void. So the Most High's prophecies, his words, are not going to return unto him empty. Whatever the Lord says is going to happen. Simple. Plain and simple. Now, let me see. After decades of threats, Israel on Friday launched an audacious attack on Iran, targeting its nuclear sites, scientists, and military leaders. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the operation had struck at the head of Iran's nuclear weaponization program. So let's go into it. The nuclear scientists. This is the nuclear scientist scripture, Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. Now in the ancient world, you had the smith, which they forged weapons from different metals. They would forge a sword from different metals, whether iron, and they would take the metal, they would heat it in the fire, and then they would hammer it out, and then they would forge it into a sword or into a spear or into a dagger or whatever. Now, the modern form of that is a nuclear scientist. That's a modern form of a smith, are the nuclear scientists, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. The instrument for his work is right here, baby, right here. Is right here. The missiles, the nuclear missiles. You have hypersonic, supersonic, subsonic. Then you have ICBM is all the way at the end, which they have a greater range. They have a greater travel range, meaning they could reach something that's on the other side of the world. They could reach a country or land that's on the other side of the world. That's an ICBM, greater than 5,500 kilometers. That's 3,418 miles. That's the instrument of his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. Now, Lord will I finish this lesson soon. Uh, Oppenheimer can refer to either. Let me just go to it. J. Robert Oppenheimer was an American. Salaki, my tongue is tied today. Was an American theoretical physicist who served as the director of the Manhattan Project's Los Alamos Laboratory during World War II. He is often called the father of the atomic bomb for his role in overseeing the development of the first nuclear weapons. So he is like the greatest example of the smith, and it says, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy the missiles, the first being the atomic bombs, and then the hydrogen bombs, and then the different types of nuclear weapons that you have today. The hypersonic, the hypersonic missiles, subatomic missiles, the ICBMs. It all started with this guy. And then you have these scientists that Israel, the Amalekites, is trying to get rid of. But they're only fulfilling prophecy anyways. The nuclear scientists. That's the smith. I have created the smith that blowed the coals in the fire. So, in this comment as well. This comment was under one of the videos, one of the live videos, I believe, that I was watching. It says, interesting how Iran is constantly blamed for its nuclear program, even though it's a signatory to NPT and under IAEA monitoring, while Israel, which has nuclear weapons, refuses to sign the NPT or allow inspections. Well, that's wicked. They putting themselves above the law, which, technically they are above the law. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and the Amalekites are the wicked because they're Edomites. If we're serious about non-proliferation, the same rules should apply to all countries. No, I believe I already looked this up. Let me go into it. Non-proliferation. NPT, IPA monitoring. The IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency, plays a crucial role in monitoring compliance with the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. Though its safeguard system, the IAEA verifies that nuclear materials and facilities in non-nuclear weapon states are being used solely for peaceful purposes, like nuclear plants, to give energy to cities and all that. But this nuclear materials, like uranium that Iran recently found, is going straight into the development of the missiles, because when you go into it, Isaiah 54:16 at the bottom, it says, "And I have created the waster to destroy," because the uranium is a part of it's a heavy part. It's an important part of the development of nuclear missiles. solely for peaceful purposes, helping to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons. So they monitor the nuclear materials for countries. Like say Iran, they're like, yo, Iran, you better use that uranium for good and not for weapons, not for nuclear weapons. And the scientists are like, nah. But Israel don't follow the rules of the IAEA because they're above the law. But Esau wants everyone else to follow, these rules and regulations. There's a whole bunch of war crimes that Esau has to pay for. But that's the end of the lesson. Scorpion, this represents Amalek dragging the U.S. into a war. Let me see if I could get it. This is like 1992, 2015, 2023. One of his special moves was when he would fling, the rope with the arrowhead attached to it, and then he would drag his enemy or opponent to him, and then he would do his finishing blow to them. And that's what Israel's doing now, because Israel is going to get Babylon into some heat that is not going to get out of. And that heat is going to be literal heat, destruction. There's one in Revelation. Revelation 14. Wait, nah. I think it's 14, yeah. This is Revelation 14 and 10 and 11, and I'm going to end it. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is Revelation 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, the beast is the new Roman system. The EU and NATO, right? That's the beast, the reincarnation of the Roman Empire. That's what we're in right now, and America is a very important part of that beast. The beast system. And it says, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his right hand, a great example of the mark, and which is the mark, is Elon Musk. Brain implant, and then you have one that's being developed, to put in your hand. Everything's being made digital. They're doing away with cash. They're doing away with physical identification. They're doing away with having to bring physical records with you. So all of that is going to be made digital, especially to make transactions, money, to buy or sell. Then after, records, identification. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. That's pure judgment, which is the judgment of the Most High is going to come in the form of nuclear destruction. It's going to rain upon Babylon the Great, which is America. All 50 states gonna be engulfed in fire. And from a bird's eye view, the elect is gonna be looking down out of the chariots, looking at Babylon being engulfed in fire. It's gonna look like a lake of fire, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. The Lamb is Yahweh Shai. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Now, the mark is again referring to the RFID implant. And if you're an Israelite and you take that mark, whether in your forehead, or let me look it up. Neuralink, Elon Musk Neuralink. That's the brain implant. One is going to go in your forehead, and they have ones that's going to go in your right hand or in any hand. If you take that and you're an Israelite, when Yahweh Shai comes back, you will be destroyed. You won't be delivered from the fire. And if you're not taken up by a chariot, by Yahweh Shai and the angels, so-called UFOs, there's no way to escape the destruction, the fire from the missiles hitting this place. Because once a missile hits a targeted area, then of course it's gonna have the impact. It's gonna make everything shake. Then you have the blast from the impact. It's gonna shatter glass. It's gonna tumble houses. It's gonna tumble cars, right? And then you have the wave of fire. The heat is gonna have people literally set on fire, and the only way to escape it is being a part of the elect of the nation of Israel. That's it. And that's the end of the lesson. All praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Harakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.